God. Okay, so we've got meetings, and then we've got meetups, and then of course there's like virtual stuff that we need to do. Plus, we got to create content. There's also the reports that are due, client calls, and then we also have to make time to listen to all those podcasts and read all of those newsletters, and then of course we have to eat food and go to the bathroom, maybe go to the gym a couple times, maybe even spend time with family, walk the dogs, or everything else. How are you supposed to handle the digital world? Welcome to Digital Marketing 5, where we talk about everything you should probably seen on the internet this week. And before we dive into it, we're going to address all of this shit today on how you should actually handle the crazy world that we live in. That being said, let's go! Welcome to Digital Marketing 5, where we talk about all the things you probably should have seen on the internet this week. And to be fair, this was a wild week of all sorts of things you probably should have seen. And it got me thinking, there's so much shit to see on the internet this week. There's so much shit to see on the internet every week. The internet is undefeated. By the way, if you're seeing this on the internet and you want to check it out, first link in the description. You can get yourself this lovely t-shirt. Disruptor School, founded in 2018. All that being said, if you're anything like me, and you're mildly ADD, how do you handle all of this stuff that's coming from you from every single angle? What is the secret to being productive? How do you handle everything that you're supposed to do? And more importantly, how do you not lose your mind knowing that you're probably not gonna get most of the things done? Well, today I'm gonna give you my 5-step process to the way that I haven't yet shot my brains out against the wall working in the agency world, client world, and making 1,000 videos a week, while also developing 8 and 9-figure brands and my own 7-figure business, Disruptor School, all while also having 2 dogs and traveling and meeting all of you lovely people and getting my wife to actually want to spend time with me and to say yes to all sorts of things like, do you want to marry my crazy ass? So let's dive into what this looks like. By the way, quick break, there's a QR code right here. Usually I tell you to like and subscribe, check out the channel. That's for the Facebook Ads MBA program. If you're interested in learning way more about my standard operating procedures on how I've grown brands to 8 and 9 figures and all of that wonderful stuff so that you can internalize it so you're not renting expertise from people that don't care about you, but can instead invest in your own growth as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a media buyer, and ultimately not need to pay people that don't care about you and have no idea how your business works, be a standard operating procedure for your business. Check it out. All right, so there's a lot of this going around, and I first want to tell you this. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you feel like there's way too much shit for you to possibly give a damn about, you're not alone. I don't know anybody that actually reads all of those newsletters. I don't know anybody that actually watches all of those YouTube videos and listens to all of those podcasts and reads all of those books. I don't know anybody that does all of that and has a healthy work-life balance. I don't know anybody that does all of that and runs their own business. I don't know anybody that does all of that and is in a stable, well-balanced relationship. I don't know anybody that does all of that has pets or kids. Nobody does it. There's this view of hustle porn and this just terrible culture of everything you're supposed to do. So point number 1 today is remember that that's impossible. It's fucking impossible for you to even get close to knocking out anything on that list. Which brings us to our first point. Your lifestyle and what you do needs to be defined on what you have time for and what makes you happy. The second thing that we need to understand here is that the work is never done. No work is ever done. It's just in various stages of completion. Oh, it's done. Great. What about V2? Oh, we're gonna get started on that. So you're telling me it's not done. No work is ever done unless you said, you know what, it's not good enough, we're moving on. In which case, that's just step 1 of a larger project. So if you understand that it's impossible to check everything off on your list to completion, hopefully that also gives you the peace of mind and the freedom to begin to look at your day as accomplishing tasks and living a fulfilling life, knowing that the idea of getting to 100% is absolute nonsense. Point number 3, especially if you're ADD, routine. Routine is everything. It doesn't matter what the routine is, but establish a routine that works for you. And if you're not getting things done, then evaluate what needs to be in your routine. Which ultimately gets us down to the most effective way of building a routine is to time block your days and understand what has the most value. What takes half an hour but provides no net positive to your life? What takes 2 hours but can be done in 45 minutes, but takes you 2 hours because you let yourself have 2 hours to do it? What takes 15 minutes but is worth $1,000? Understand the return on your time is infinitely more important than the ROAS of your ad spend, because ultimately the return on your time is a real number. I spend X amount of time doing something, I get Y result because of it. What does success look like for me? And that ultimately brings us to point number 4. Define what success looks like. What do you need done this week, this month? What needs to be done today? There's a lot of folks that are the type, like my wife is like this. You get a project for school and they go home and they plan out the next month of what it's gonna look like. Day 1, I'm gonna do this. Day 2, I'm gonna do this. Day 3, I'm gonna do this. You know who doesn't do that? Crazy people like me, which I feel like probably represents a larger percentage of you than it doesn't. You're like, oh my God, that's due in 2 days. I better do it today. Yeah, that's realistic. And if you start to look at, well, all I need to do is what's directly in front of me. And if it's not important enough to be directly in front of me, then it's not important enough to do. And more importantly, success isn't getting everything on my list done because I'm never gonna finish every job. Then you can really understand what do you need to get done. For me, I understand that what I need is 3 YouTube videos a week. What I need is to make sure that disruptor school students and MBA students get my time every week. We have dedicated calls and lessons and classes every single week of my time, because that's what they're buying. And I also understand that success for me means that I am able to build more time into my day that isn't dedicated to getting work done so that I can enjoy the fruits of my labor and that I can be a partner in my relationship, a dog, dad, and ultimately a father to children. Like, that matters. Is it more important for you to raise your revenue by 50% and you bring home no more money, or to spend an extra 2 hours with your family? When you're on your deathbed, the answer to that isn't gonna be raise revenue and bring no new net money home. When you define your success, then it's really easy for you to understand, should you become available? What is worth doing in your time? I have a net number that I need to hit every single month to make sure that I can pay my bills, keep my staff happy, and I'm continuing to grow the business in a way that makes sense. That number has grown month over month, year over year. But I'm getting to the point where that number requires less and less of my time, and I can leverage more and more of the work that I've done and the expertise of my team in a way that allows me to not be required to hit that number. And the last thing here is, if it is important, get some project management device. Now, there's people that will give you all sorts of Kanbans and Monday and a million things. I'll tell you what I do. 100%, I'll do this. Hey Siri, remind me that I need to export this video from my memory card and get the Audacity file uploaded to the folder to my editing team tonight, or it's not gonna come out on time. Remind me of that in 30 minutes. Bam. Now, if you go through and figure out what's important, and you figure out what needs to be done today, what you need to do today, you can begin to time block out all the things that need to get done. And the honest truth is, that list shouldn't be more than 5 things. It doesn't need to be. And if you start to look at what you're doing with your time, and if you realize that the value of that is less than it costs you to get somebody to do that work, that is an opportunity for you to buy back time and to make that investment profitable. And you know what? That's not a weird way to end it. We've been ending in weird ways all sorts of times, but today, that makes complete sense. So yeah, check out disruptorschool.com, check out the t-shirts, go to charleybot.ai, first link down below if you want to get some merch. And until next time, I'll see you on the internet. Bye! All right, we got to stop this recording and then send it off to the team. Miguel, it's coming!